Natural hair doesn't grow long. If you believe that, it means you didn't listen to our last episode on unraveling the knots. There are several myths around natural hair. It doesn't grow long. It is very expensive to maintain. It doesn't look professional. Let me just stop right there. These are just some of the myths that we debunked. So, do take a listen, and when you can, forward the link to anyone who still believes them. End of plug. So, the myths have been debunked. Yes. But what about people who want to know more about natural hair? And I say natural hair as a term, loosely referring to hair that hasn't been altered with chemicals. I also go a step further by narrowing it down to Afro-textured, kinky, curly, 4C hair. If you are a regular listener, you have heard this phrase or something close to it over and over again. But while people have a good idea or mental picture of what Afro-textured, kinky, curly hair looks like, some people are lost at 4C hair. Say what? A number and a letter to define a hair type? Is it really that deep? Isn't hair either curly or straight? These are the questions. Why should we put in the work to understand different hair types? Well, it allows you to make informed decisions, especially when it comes to caring and styling your 4C hair. So you don't just jump on the bandwagon and do what every naturalista is doing. That it worked for that sister or brother don't mean it gonna work for you, honey. See, there are levels to curls and coils, and some hair types are pretty similar. Another reason is so you can engage your hairdresser or stylist from a place of knowledge and advantage. You know the right questions to ask, and also know if the person actually knows their onions or not. And you don't go running from post to pillar buying everything that has natural on the label. No money to throw around. It's 2024. The more you know, the better off you are to make the right decisions that will work for your hair. So if you're ready to learn about 4C hair, keep listening. Hi, I'm Ganiyat Salami, a naturalista, a proud one at that, and the host of Unraveling the Knots. I also have a 9-to-5 working as a project manager. I love natural hair. I love reading up on it, talking about it, and discovering new things along the way. It hasn't always been like that. I have had quite the journey. And if you're new here, I encourage you to listen to the earlier episodes. Also, to the newbies, a special thank you for stopping by and listening to Unraveling the Knots. We now have well over 20 episodes. Yay! So, if you like what you're listening to, please be sure to rate us. It does go a long way to support the work we are doing. Speaking of work, Unraveling the Knots is part science, part history, and part art. Science because we look at the makeup of hair and the relationship it has with the environment. Part history because we go back in time to appreciate just how far we have come and we document, which in turn is history in the making. Part art. Because it is hair. Hair is a beautiful canvas for artistic expression. Unraveling the knots is also analysis, commentary, and to an extent, education with a dash of entertainment. I try, don't I? So today, it's all about understanding 4C hair. But before we get into that, let's talk about texture. Your hair type is mainly based on your hair's curl pattern. The amount of curl in your hair is determined by your hair follicle. And what type of hair you end up with is simply down to genetics. If your hair doesn't curl at all, i.e., it is straight, then you have type 1 hair. Next is type 2, which is wavy, while type 3 is curly. Type 4 is tightly curled or coily. It doesn't end there. The hair type and texture can be further broken down into A, B, and C. This is based on a number of factors, including the hair's curl pattern, density, porosity, width, and length. Stay with me as I quickly run from 1 to 4. Starting with 1A. This type of hair is very straight. It is the straightest subtype of type 1 hair. This hair type is generally gleaming and tends to be very smooth to the touch. Naturally silky, it has the least amount of body among all hair types. Also, 1A hair type does not shrink, even when wet. Why? It has no curl pattern. 1B is straight, but with a slight wave or bend. It is also a slightly thicker subtype of type 1 hair. It can appear fuller and denser than 1A, but may also be prone to tangling and breakage if not properly cared for. 1C is straight with a coarser texture. With slight bends and arcs from the roots that curve inward towards the chin, it takes on a soft tousled shape with a subtle body. Compared to 1A and 1B, it has a more relaxed wave pattern. The hair strands are typically coarse to medium coarse, and they're known for flyaways, frizz, and oiliness right after washing. The natural state of type 2 hair is gentle, tousled texture. 2A is wavy and fine. From the roots to around eye level, the hair is fairly straight. And from the eye level to the ends, you have a loose, undefined wave. 2B is wavy with a slightly more defined S shape. The hair curls from the midpoint to the ends. It may require a little more effort to straighten this hair type. 2C is wavy with well-defined S-shaped waves. The wave pattern may begin close to the crown and tumble downward. It is also thick and can be prone to frizz in damp weather. We are now at 3. 3A is characterized by loose curls. S-shaped curls form loose loops. 3A hair types often get confused with 2C. Though one is wavy and the other is curly, They do appear similar. I guess that's one of the caveats for using this system to differentiate hair types. It is not perfect. Moving on. 3B is characterized with tight and springy curls. Curls spring from the roots and have ample volume. 3B hair also has body. Think volume with tightly well-defined and bouncier curls. 3C is densely packed curls with an S or Z shape that springs back into shape when stretched. These curls are tight and springy. Finally, at 4. Yay! 4A is loose coils. It features small and tight coils that resemble a zigzag pattern. The coily texture begins at the scalp and continues through the ends. 4B hair type is characterized with zigzagging coils, Z-shaped pattern that tends to bend in sharp angles instead of curling. 4C is tight coils. Spotting a super tight zigzag pattern, 4C hair boasts densely packed strands that are naturally prone to shrinkage. So, to the business of the day. What do you need to know about 4C hair? Not all 4C hair is the same. 4C ranges from fine, soft, thin to coarse and densely packed hair strands that look very similar to type 4B. If you put the 3 different types of type 4 hair under a microscope, you'd notice that each forms a tightly wound coil shape that gets smaller and smaller as it goes up the type 4 scale. The tightest being, you guessed it, 4C. Even when wet, the kinks and coils do not lose shape or definition. 4C coils are so springy that it can shrink up to 70 to 75% of their length. So, you gotta be patient with your hair growth. You might not see it as fast, but know that it is there. Another thing to know about 4C hair is that it is fragile. Compared to other hair types, it is more susceptible to damage. So, moisture, lots of it, and a good healthy dose of TLC are needed. 4C hair is prone to frizz and can easily get tangled or matted. So you don't want to use the wrong products or abandon it. If not, you'll be looking for wahala, aka trouble. Some good news. 4C hair is versatile. It can hold a variety of protective styles for long periods of time. And when you do braids, twists, and bantu knots, you can enjoy the styles as they are and then loosen them to create beautiful curls. Did you find today's episode helpful? Send an email to utkinhair@gmail.com. On Instagram, DM us. Follow and engage with our handle, unraveling_the_knots. Unraveling is spelled UNRAVELING. Unraveling the knots. And please, like I said in the beginning, rate us wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you. And if you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone. Thank you. This episode was produced by Isabella Adediji. Ganiyat, signing out. Peace.